We live in a world of potential, not in a world of actuality. And this is precisely the reason that separates the ones who materialize their life goals from the ones who don't. I have recently made a video titled "The Quantum Law of Being," in which I go in depth about the idea that we live in a realm of infinite potential. But it is the individual consciousness who looks at reality in a certain way and collapses a certain potential into experience. So, reality mirrors your inner self from the vantage point you look at it. You change your vantage point, reality changes. God is infinite and plastic. The fixed idea of God based in separation is keeping men forever begging for salvation, not knowing that salvation was already given when we were bestowed the gift of speech and mind, as Hermes Trismegisto said. And the ancients told us that God is mind, an infinite mind of infinite potential. Hermes, according to some accounts, revealed to us 6,000 years ago about the modern string theory and quantum potential in the principle of vibration. It states, nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. And when you vibrate a certain way, you resonate with a certain experience from the infinite potential. Consequently, you collapse it into your experience. This simple yet extremely profound knowledge changes everything. As Wayne Dyer, a prominent New Thought author said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So, when you understand your relationship with the God within and the idea that everything is God, you look at the world differently. You are not swayed by the so-called actuality of things or the seemingly fixed nature of this world. You employ the faculties of imagination and constructive self-talk to collapse a new reality into your experience. But the masses predominantly are doing the exact opposite. Just observe the way people are taught to pray by the so-called intermediaries of God. The idea of praying in organized religion is far from the essence of how it actually works. Begging, pleading, and hoping is the exact opposite of the frequency that you should be resonating with. Then again, if you think that God is separate from you and can impose his will upon you, stifling your free will, you will naturally beg, as you want mercy from this external entity and show grace. But mystics like Neville Goddard have told us unnumbered times that we manifest what we are, not what we want. When we beg in our prayers, we are emitting the frequency of not having something, so we will not collapse into experience that which we desire. As having and not having are two polar opposite frequencies. Even the so-called believers of scripture do not pay attention to the deeper esoteric layers. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. Now is it telling us to beg? Is it suggesting to hope for it? On the contrary, it is revealing to us the idea of faith. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen, said Neville Goddard. And faith is easy when you know who and where God is. As Neville Goddard said, your own wonderful human imagination is God. It is another way of saying that the all is mind, the universe is mental, the Kabbalion. So, when you pray as though thanking the depth of your own being that you already have what you want, this is when you collapse potential into experience. And you will walk through a series of incidents that will lead you towards fulfillment. Neville Goddard wrote an entire book about how to pray, called Prayer: The Art of Believing. Yet, countless people pray in the exact opposite way. Hence, the world is the way it is. We are misusing this power morning, noon, and night. All because of the fact that we do not know who we are and what God is. If God is omnipresent, then how can he be separate from you? It is easy to believe that your prayer has been heard and consequently demonstrate faith when you know that God is within you. As Neville said, if you heard it, then he heard it. So, when you pray, if you conceive vividly in imagination the fulfillment of it, then God has seen it. And if God sees something, it becomes real. Initially it takes practice to pray like this. Because we are creatures of habit. We are who we are right now due to years of detrimental self-programming and loose inner talk. So, any new idea requires repetition for your egoic human self. So, practice praying like this, as thanking the depth of your own being that you already have it. And feeling gratitude that it is done. See it in your mind's eye as a fact, happening right now. Imagine a short scene. A scene that takes you right into fulfillment. If you would like to have a home, imagine living in your ideal home. If you would like to have love in your life, imagine being with the love of your life. Feel your heart swell up with love. Feel it to be real in your mind's eye. Again, if you heard it, God heard it. If you saw it, God saw it. If you felt it, God felt it. So, go about your day expecting it to show up anytime. As I and my Father are one, but my Father is greater than I, said Christ. The depth of our own being is greater than you. And it is responsible for executing the perfect plan to carry you to fulfillment. That is the part where we demonstrate faith. And walk in life boldly, knowing that it is done. Because again, if you know it is done, God knows it is done. And when God knows, it is a fact. The idea of separation instilled in us by organized religion has seeped deep into our minds. And it will require practice to get acquainted with this radically new idea. But then again, ordinary modes of thinking have never landed anyone any extraordinary feats. Radical shift in the mind provides radical shift in reality. And what is prayer, if not a radical shift in mind? As you want something that seems to not exist in your reality at the moment. So, you must present to the mirror of reality a radically new idea. As Neville Goddard often quoted this from the book of Isaiah. Go and give beauty for ashes, go and give joy for mourning, give the spirit of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they may become trees of righteousness, plantings to the glory of God. By doing this, you become a vibrational match to what you desire. And then you let it go. As Neville said, there is an interval of time for the planting of that seed and the sowing of that seed. It ripens and it will flower. If it be long wait, for it is sure, and it will not be late. Therefore, we must walk by faith and not by sight. Because your sight is basically blind to radical ideas. The entire point of praying is to get something that you cannot see with your physical eyes yet, right? Then see it with your mind's eye. I have given a great mental experience in this video recently, where I have proven that you can imagine and feel the reality of anything right now. So, see what you want in your mind's eye and feel its reality. Then walk by faith, as your sight will encounter it soon enough. When the appointed hour for that seed is upon it to blossom into experience. Faith also dictates that you let go of the how something will show up. Again, radical change in the mind dictates that you think radically different. If you are stuck on the how, you are thinking in the old ways. The ego can never ever devise the accurate means by which God can bring a thing to pass. Our human self has tunnel vision. It cannot possibly account for all the possibilities. God has absolute and total vision. God has the entire picture and knows how to bring something to pass in your world from where you stand. Again, I and my Father are one, but my Father is greater than I. You are an individualized aspect of the only thing that is real. As Neville said, there is nothing but God in this world. People have this way of pushing the blame on Satan for all the evil in the world. And associate only the lovely with God. But the scripture says, see now that I, even I, am He. And there is no God with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hands. Deuteronomy 32:39. It makes sense when you realize that God is infinite. Therefore, the so-called evil exists as a possibility for you to experience. As we, the individualized aspect of God, are bestowed upon the gift of speech and mind. Which essentially means, the gift of freedom of choice. So, God will not intervene if you adversely use the gift of speech and mind. As ultimately, adversity forces you to become present and begin to self-inquire. And often people awake from this illusion in the midst of the dark night of the soul. When they hit rock bottom and every prayer appears to have been denied. That is when they realize that they might have been praying wrong. How do I know this, you ask? I went through the exact same thing. When I hit rock bottom, I woke up. Realizing that the God I have been begging to doesn't exist. And the God that I am seeking is right here, right now. When I listen, He listens. When I imagine and feel the reality of something, He knows it to be real. And the seed is planted. Therefore, look within and hear attentively. The call from the depth of your own being. You have never been in true danger. Because He has never truly left you. You were just looking with your physical eyes, so you couldn't see. But if you see it with your mind's eye, then everything you want comes into focus.